So this is the video. Is this the chandelier? I'm pretty sure this is the Lou Elizondo chandelier, guys. I don't know if it is or not. But so, like, I don't even know what's going on here. The only thing I find interesting about this is you can see a smoke trail coming out of this, right? So at least that's something. But the problem is there's no context. Like, what distance am I even looking at this object? Am I looking up? Am I looking down? Am I looking horizontal? Is that line in the background like the horizon? Is that a smoke trail? And then there's a weird flash here that happens, but I can't tell if this flash is like they're zooming in because all of a sudden something's different, or if like something actually happens here. Also, when I look at this, like it looks like it's clearly a distortion of light, right? Like it looks like you've zoomed in on a star, is what this looks like. So it looks like a distortion of light, but I have no context to understand why there'd be a distortion of light like that. So I don't know if this is like maybe that's not the real shape of it. So this is probably one of the more interesting videos, I guess, out there. But ultimately, I can't really make any conclusions off of this. So this actually brings up a good point. If this is the most compelling video they've got out there and is this supposed to be aliens? Like, are we still talking about aliens? I'm kind of starting to agree with the demon people at this point. Because at this point, I'm not seeing any aliens, and this is looking not like aliens to me. This is starting. If you made me say something, I'd say, okay, we're looking at demons, I guess. Ghosts. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It's definitely not an alien, though. But go ahead and compare this. Like, this is the best footage we've got. You compare this, which I don't know what I'm supposed to believe from this. You could probably sell me any possible narrative based on this video versus the footage and the quality that we have in the MH370 videos. Wait, why is this taking so long to load? Versus this, where like you have the drone in view, where you can actually like see the drone right there. Part of the reason why you know this video is not fake is because of where it starts. A fake video would never start like showing the drone like this. And also, this is not a controlled release either. That somebody wanted you to have enough information to know this is a real video. That's what's probably so scary about these videos to the CIA, is because they were released with enough intent to prove that they're real. And this is what's made them so difficult for people to try to debunk, because they pass the uncanny valley test because they're real. So when you watch it, you're like, why is all this stuff happening the way that it's happening? It's because the person revealing this wanted you to see exactly what you're seeing. They wanted you to know there's probably more footage than this, but they wanted you to see exactly this. They wanted you to see, yep, that's a drone right there. So can you imagine, like, look at the quality of the shit that they really have. They've got stuff like this, real operations where we're breaking this technology out. We're unambiguously using this tech. And the best part, the thing I love about this video, which I thank the CIA every day for recording this. What idiots. I can't believe they recorded this. How stupid do you have to be to record this, dude? Like, there can be no copies of this if you do this shit. There can be no chance that this is going to leak on the internet. Like, you need to delete all the footage in real time. Maybe they did. Maybe that's how Edward Lin got it. I don't know. But you look at this and you're like, holy shit, there's no way for them to deny that this is them. Like, they're zooming in. Look how close this drone is to the plane. Look how close it is to the plane. They're like, my favorites when people are like, who's recording this, Ashton? Like, who the fuck do you think is recording this? That's an MQ-9 Reaper drone. That's an MQ-9 Reaper drone. So it's either the Air Force or the CIA. Those are the only two people that got that. You're like, holy shit. Look at this. They must hate these videos. They're out here releasing like dots flying around on the sky. Meanwhile, they've got 3 orbs connecting together. You can see the X-rays coming off these orbs. You wonder why they don't release any color videos, because look at all the shit you can see. Look at how much more information you get when you see it in color. You can see these lines coming out in front of the orbs. It's like we were able to reverse engineer all their classified physics just from these videos, just from one set of videos. Look at this shit. Look at that. I can't get over this part. You can count. You can see the door, and then you can see the air conditioning manifolds, because the cooler or hotter air, I guess it's hotter air is being pumped through the air conditioning system. So that's why you see those like discolored lines. You can see the back door as well. You think somebody faked that? No one in a million years could ever fake that. Never. No one even knew what this Fleer stiff thing looked like in 2014. Anyway, okay. So, had to compare the footage that we just saw, which is, I don't know, some out of focus, blurry thingamajig, to some legit footage. Now, let me see what else I've got. I think I have one more. A couple more, maybe. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one. So this is at least a little bit interesting, I guess. Kind of up to you. I'll leave it up to you to decide. I love how when I post this, how confused people get. Like, I post this image and people are like, that's not a real photo. Chat, if you thought this was a real photo, I'm really worried. I don't think we're gonna get that with the warp drives. If people are out here, there's like dozens of people in the comments posting how this isn't a real photo. I'm going, Jesus Christ, chat. What did I say that made you think that this was a real photo? I literally, my caption is, this story is pretty interesting, at least. Giant object materialized out of nowhere and then disappeared again. Yeah, it's just an artist rendering, guys. Just an artist rendering. It says actual site photo with FBI lab rendered graphic overlay depicting corroborating eyewitness reports from September 2023 of an apparent ellipsoid bronze metallic object materializing out of a bright light in the sky. 130 to 195 feet in length and disappearing instantaneously. Now, why do I like this? I think you know why. But look at it like this. Is this story real? I don't know. But I know it could be real. I know it could be real because I know that we do have physics exist that is consistent with that technology. And what I find interesting about it is that's pretty much what I think happened with MH370. That's what I think happened with MH370. So if we go to some post from earlier today, shout out to Jordan Crowder. I wasn't actually trying to come at him with this. This wasn't an attack on him in any way. I just wanted to react to all these different narratives that I saw were forming here. So Jordan Crowder says, remember, folks, spheres don't just float around aimlessly. Sometimes they suck entire planes full of people out of our dimension. I wonder if we'll ever get this level of disclosure. Now, these orbs are not aliens. They're not demons. And importantly, they're not sending this plane to another reality. We need to really get up to date on the physics on this one, guys. Look at the orientations of these heat signatures. Look at the orientations of those heat signatures on those orbs, chat. This is what we call phase aligned. Do you see how if you imagine each of the orbs moving into the other position, you can imagine the exact rotation that it would take to link up like that? That is very specific. And the reason why that's happening is because these orbs, they can lock in electromagnetically, but also their coherent movement, oscillation, connection can amplify their effects. They act as like little phased arrays. That's why there's more than one of them and not just one object doing these things. Let me see, what else did I say? Oh, yes. The other biggest part. So if you look at this image, you would say, okay, well, their electromagnetic fields are going to cancel out at the center. You say, okay, so nothing's going to happen. But if there's an extra dimension, there's now another variable to this equation. The Poynting vector is not 0 in the extra dimension. And what this means is that their alignment, their spin, everything you see these things doing before they zap this plane is relevant to the mechanism of what they're doing to wormhole, warp drive, teleport, railgun, whatever the hell you want to call it, the plane. The Poynting vector not being 0 means they're directing this plane through the hyperdimension. That's what this book says. That's also what this book says, how it works, by David Froning, Black Project engineer, who actually probably literally built these orbs. The other thing he points out, which I think is just relevant, I just want to bring it up. I'm going to read the back. Where was it? Which one? This part. Froning has made a monumentous discovery that equations for the speed of sound and the speed of light look alike and similarly modify a transversable medium, giving hope that faster than light travel is possible. Furthermore, with the help of Dr. Roach and others, their design of a teardrop-shaped toroid has been proven to be the best for distributing the leading and trailing directions of the physical vacuum of space in favorable ways. Hello to the future of warp drive. Wow. So, teardrop-shaped toroid. It turns out if you make a toroid, a donut, then you create this null point at the center. But if you create a teardrop-shaped toroid, which is elongated along one edge, so it's round on this side, and then it's kind of triangle shaped like this with a donut in the middle here, then theoretically, this might be the best way to cohere energy from the vacuum by creating an asymmetry. So what do I mean by this? They're making a waterfall in space-time. Space-time is normally flat and nothing's going on, and they're going, make a waterfall like this. They make a waterfall and they use that for propulsion. That's the basis of the reason behind the teardrop shape in the toroid, which makes me wonder if these plasma toroids might also be using a teardrop shape to cohere energy, therefore direct them around like that. Just wanted to bring that up.